If you've ever looked into getting the NFL Sunday ticket package, you've probably said something like, why is it so expensive? Or why can't I just pay to watch my team? Or maybe even, I just want to watch this one game. Why do I have to buy the whole year? Well, you certainly wouldn't be the only one thinking that, and a pending class action lawsuit is aiming to prove the NFL is trying to make you feel that way intentionally. This whole lawsuit has an odd story to it, and I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't heard of it until just recently. It feels like no one was covering the story except Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk and a couple of random websites. So we're just going to take a minute here to just recap what has happened so far. It's a class action lawsuit from a little San Francisco pub called the Mucky Duck against the NFL and DirecTV that was initially filed in 2015. The suit argues the NFL and DirecTV are breaking antitrust laws by selling the Sunday ticket package as a bundle, forcing fans to pay a high price without flexible options and competition. And just last month, June 2024, both Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones were required to testify in front of a judge. The process to get this suit to trial has been a lengthy one. The suit was initially dismissed in 2017, but brought back by an appeals court in 2019 after the court found that the licensing deals were allegedly part of a single conspiracy to limit the output of NFL telecasts. More on that later. Since then, though, everything has been going the way of the plaintiffs, who now have 2.4 million people in the residential class action lawsuit and 48,000 in their commercial class action. The NFL has tried multiple times to get the suit dismissed, but has failed every time, with even the Supreme Court dismissing a bid by the NFL to overturn the 2019 decision. So, currently, with things seeming to be looking in the plaintiffs' favor, we want to look at how the NFL and DirecTV are defending the Sunday ticket package, the evidence against the NFL and DirecTV, and how the results of this lawsuit could change the NFL forever. Hey guys, just want to add editor's note here. Since we've written the script and recorded our lines, the lawsuit has actually been settled in favor of the plaintiffs. So we still think it's very relevant at the conclusion of this video in laying out what could potentially be coming next for the NFL and potentially TV broadcasting rights. So I would recommend sticking around until the end. But just want to give you that heads up that we are aware of at the time of doing the editing that the court is actually settled. So with that said and out of the way, let's get back to the video.
Let's start with how the NFL is defending its right to continue to sell the Sunday ticket package as it is. The NFL's main argument is that the NFL has an antitrust exception, thanks to the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, and the Sunday ticket package is a premium product that's not meant for everyone. Now let's address the first half of that argument. The Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 is a crucial piece of legislation that, honestly, we could do a whole separate video on that topic because it has really shaped the NFL of how we know of it today. But let us know in the comment section if you want to see something like that. But to put simply, the act allows sport leagues to bypass antitrust laws and collectively sell their team's broadcasting rights to television networks. And this process has worked out for the most part. It is why Fox or CBS can't just broadcast Cowboys and Giants games while the Buccaneers and Browns are relegated to ESPN Ocho. Their argument is this exception allows them to include every team in the package and doesn't require them to offer one team or single game options. The second half of their argument is that this is a premium product and they can charge a higher price if they want to. So that seems pretty cut and dry, right? The NFL, and by extension, DirecTV, are allowed to act like Costco and bulk sell their games for as much money as they want, and we as fans can either buy the whole package or watch whatever game is local. This is probably how they got the case dismissed back in 2017. So what changed that an appeals court overturned that decision back in 2019?
Well, this is where things get interesting. Check out this video of Mike Florio on the Pat McAfee show explaining the situation.
The fundamental question is this: is the NFL forcing the Sunday ticket provider, previously DirecTV, now YouTube TV, to overcharge in order to ensure that a certain number of people won't get it and that they'll watch the CBS and Fox games made available to them in their local markets? It's a premium product, and there's plenty of evidence that's come in already that the NFL doesn't want it to be too cheap. It doesn't want it to be something that has a huge subscriber base, and the argument is it's trying to protect CBS and Fox.
So remember earlier when we mentioned the court found that the licensing deals were allegedly part of a single conspiracy to limit the output of NFL telecast? This is where that comes into play. Essentially what Florio was saying is that there has been enough evidence to convince an appeals judge, and every judge that has reviewed this case since, that the NFL was forcing DirecTV to raise its price not because the Sunday Ticket is some premium product, but rather to protect its broadcasting deals with Fox, ABC, NBC, and CBS. The NFL had concerns that if more people paid for the Sunday Ticket, fewer people would watch the national broadcast, causing the value of its deals with those companies to go down. We aren't just speculating about that either. According to memos presented by attorneys from the plaintiffs, Fox and CBS have always wanted the league to charge premium prices for Sunday Ticket so that it doesn't eat into the local ratings. The more subscribers to Sunday Ticket, the greater the threat to local audience numbers. If you are wondering, why doesn't the NFL just stop offering Sunday Ticket if it's going to be a threat to their broadcast deals?
Well, YouTube TV just paid $14 billion over the next 7 years for it. For context, the contracts for ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS have a combined worth of $90 billion over the next 10 years. The NFL wanted to have this cake and eat it too. This breaks antitrust law because it limits the consumer's choice and prevents competition with their other broadcast deals. Just so you can see how messed up the situation is, here's some more evidence that's being presented. During opening statements, attorney Amanda Bond showed a 2020 term sheet by Fox Sports demanding the NFL to ensure Sunday tickets would be priced above $293.96 per season. When the Sunday ticket contract was up for bid in 2022, ESPN wanted to offer the package on its streaming service for $70 per season, along with offering a team-by-team product, according to an email shown by Bond. That was rejected by the NFL. $70 to watch my favorite team sounds a whole lot better than a 420% markup to get a bunch of games that I don't care about. Here's where we get to the final twist though, because if the plaintiffs win, then this might ruin your favorite team forever.
Okay, to talk about how this could ruin your favorite team, we need to quickly cover how the NFL salary situation is different from the NBA and MLB and allows them to have a better competitive balance. The NFL has a hard salary cap and salary floor, meaning a team can't spend over a certain amount or below a certain amount that is agreed upon by the NFL and the NFLPA. If they do, penalties can occur like loss of picks and huge fines. This allows for competitive balance because every team has the same amount of money to buy or retain a player's services. The NBA has a soft salary cap and salary floor. This is a similar idea to the NFL, but a team is allowed to go over the cap with special exemptions that allow teams to retain their biggest stars. If a team does go over the cap, they would be subject to fines, which can hinder competition in a way that we'll explain in a little bit. MLB just has a luxury tax and no salary floor. This means the team will have to pay a tax if they spend over a certain amount of money on player contracts, and an owner is allowed to just spend as little money as they'd like. See the Oakland A's. It's a little more complicated than that with increasing taxes in different brackets, but for the sake of this video, that's all you really need to know. The differences in each league's salary situations are primarily created by their TV broadcasting deals and what is done with that money. That's why you'll often hear some teams referred to as small market or big market in the NBA or MLB, but not in the NFL. The NFL only sells its teams as a bundle to national broadcast, and that money is divided up amongst all 32 teams and makes up a lot of what we know as a salary cap. The new TV broadcasting deals the NFL just signed, making up $90 billion, is why the cap is currently exploding and should continue through the life of those deals. This means that every team's market is the same size, a giant red, white, and blue shield-sized market. Meanwhile, the NBA and MLB have a couple of national broadcast deals and share the revenue from those deals, but allow the majority of their regular season games to be sold to local broadcasts, which the revenue from that can vary wildly based on the team's popularity and the city's population size. The teams get to keep the majority of the money from these deals and can use that to pay players or pocket the money. In the NBA, not having your star player count against the cap and having extra TV money can create competitive imbalances. The NBA has tried to reduce this over the last few years, and the gap has improved, but there is still a gap. In baseball, there were really only 4 to 8 teams competing for a World Series, while the rest of the league is just trying to compete for a wild card. If the NFL loses this lawsuit, not only will the NFL have to pay up to $21 billion, but each team could be granted the same chance that NBA and MLB teams have to sell broadcasting rights for themselves. That right there should be setting off alarms for you.
The NFL salary cap is largely created by the league's extensive revenue sharing system, with the majority of the revenue coming from the league's national broadcasting deals. If each team is allowed to negotiate their broadcasting rights, it could end the salary cap as we know it, or at the very least, reduce the value of the national broadcasting deals, which should cause a cap crash when the current deals expire. The salary cap is the greatest competitive balancer that the NFL has. It allows smaller market teams like the Green Bay Packers to compete for players against larger market teams like the New York Giants or LA Rams, because every team has to operate from the same pool of money. The collapse of that system could create an imbalance that leaves smaller market teams like the Kansas City Chiefs unable to bring in new talent, or worse, maintain their current rosters. Even if the salary cap can be maintained, not being able to buy the games in bulk could cause the value of the national TV deals to plummet, which would significantly cut the salary cap. Teams would then be forced to tear up contracts and flood the market with players. The only surefire way for NFL to prevent this from happening would be to win the lawsuits, which would be bad for the fans, but would save the NFL as we know. Creating an alternative revenue stream that could be profitable enough to save the salary cap is something that the NFL has been working on since the time of the 2019 appeal, and that would be sports betting. But because this video is already running long enough, that is a subject we will have to get into in a different video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can be alerted when that video does drop. So just to recap, the ongoing Sunday Ticket class action lawsuit against the NFL and DirecTV, which was initiated by a small pub in San Fran, could revolutionize how NFL games and broadcasts are consumed. The plaintiffs argue that bundling the NFL Sunday Ticket package forces fans to pay unreasonable prices without flexible options, violating antitrust laws. If the plaintiffs win, it could dismantle the NFL's revenue sharing system, potentially ending the league's salary cap and competitive balance, fundamentally altering the NFL landscape, and possibly leading to increased fragmentation of game broadcasts. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this video with your football friends so this story can get the light that it deserves. Until next time, we are the RFL Show, and we will see you in the next video.